What's up, guys? I'm back with another tournament recap video. This video is going to be over a Texas Bass Nation Northeast qualifier on Lake Palestine on January 18th. This lake was off the surface. It was a tough one. Couldn't set up on it like I would traditionally this time of year. Couldn't find bait chasers. Couldn't find suspended fish and timber. I mean, not my typical lake for the stuff I was looking for usually. So that threw me a curveball at first. Had a rough pre-practice, just didn't find much at all. Went back, practiced the day before the event, keyed in on some deeper docks. I was flipping this jig. I don't know the name of it, but I was flipping it with a half-ounce jig with a green pumpkin or watermelon red trailer on it, crawl trailer on it. The docks that were in 10 to 12 foot of water were really where I focused. Well, during the day, during practice, you could find them on those docks suspended. You could flip the jig, had to catch a few. You could find them on the bottom underneath the docks. You could catch a few. And while I was doing that, my partner was throwing around a DT6 on the sides of docks, just throwing it around, see if he could catch the suspended fish off the sides or find some on the bottom that were next to those deeper docks. And he caught a few, and that helped us kind of key into something. And then tournament day, conditions changed. Went from a 30-mile-an-hour south wind to a 30-mile-an-hour north wind overnight, so that had the fish in a funk. Actually got a really good morning bite, which we didn't expect. Caught 3 fish, our first 3 fish in like 5 minutes or something like that. And we got that curveball that day, and the fish didn't set up on the docks at all. In fact, what I talked about, how we practiced the day before, my partner was throwing a DT6. These fish had pulled off the docks and gone on to the little shallow edges of the docks, and we were able to catch them with these 3 DT6s. This is bluegill, Helsinki shad, and I believe this is demon craw. All 3 really good baits. Every one of them caught a fish. This one actually caught my 8-pound 802 kicker fish. And that's a great bait. My favorite baits to throw, probably of all time. Best crankbaits around is a DT6 or OG Slim 6 by far. And so what we were doing on that, the crank and bite, how we won actually, we won with 16 pounds, I believe, or just under 16 pounds. Those same docks that had that 12 foot of water under the front of them or near the front of the dock had a drop off to say like 20 or 18 foot. So there was 2 drops. There was one from 12 to 18, and then there was one from about 3 to 6. That 3 to 6 drop, there was lots and lots of fish sitting on those edges from 3 to 6 foot. And these DT6s, I mean, I watched it a few times on live. This bluegill, I dropped it. This bluegill specifically, once it come off that ledge, they'd smoke it. They'd see it pull off the either rock or little flat part from 3 to 6 foot, and they'd smack it. I mean, we caught a bunch of them in practice doing it later in the day, and then the tournament, every single fish on the tournament was caught on a crankbait. We didn't actually flip docks like we thought we would. That's just because the fish just left the docks. We think that they slid off the docks and kind of got into a pre-spawn roamers, if you will, because the sun was up, sun was higher, warmed up the water. So we're assuming that it pulled those fish off the docks into the shallows just a little bit more to where they started roaming. Caught them in pairs in practice, so that was another thing. Bucks. And then the 8 that I caught during the tournament, she was alone, and she was also on a rock ledge similar to the other ones. 3 foot to 6 foot drop. She was sitting out on the front of it. Threw a DT6 to her. She destroyed it. Great fish. Great tournament. I think I'm gonna have to go back to Lake Palestine. It was rough in the beginning, but after breaking it down a little bit, it was really a fun lake. I will say, if you approach that lake this time of year, at least looking for bait chasers or suspended fish and timber, you're not gonna find much. I found some giant crappie. That's about all I found. I think I caught 3 bass total suspended or offshore during the entire 4 or 5 days that I spent out there in practicing in the tournament. I mean, it was just rough if you wanted to go scope. But that shallow bite's really starting to heat up out there, I think, and hopefully it's going to start heating up in these other East Texas lakes. Lake Palestine's a great lake to go. Lots and lots of big fish. I couldn't find them, but I know they're out there. I saw a few of them. There was one on tournament day that I looked down on live. He was sitting off the ledge a little bit, threw the DT out to him, probably anywhere from 7 to 9 pounds, just blasted at that DT and didn't even eat it. Followed it all the way to the boat. I'm surprised I couldn't see it back out of the water, how close he followed it. But yeah, thank you.